The World AI Expo, Hall A, the Machine Learning Pavilion, Delegate Assignments. Conclusion of all questions. The company AI system demonstrated remarkable technical capability, but technical success alone does not justify its use. Responsible AI requires transparency, consent, accountability, and respect for privacy. Live demonstration. Why did one group learn more effectively? The answer. The group in room Bravo learned more effectively because they had the both medical records and the doctor's final diagnosis. Second, what additional information changed everything? This made accurate prediction possible. The additional information was the doctor's final diagnosis, the pattern wall. Did the pattern suddenly appear or did you suddenly notice it? No. The pattern did not suddenly appear, it was already there from the beginning. What changed was my ability to recognize it. Confidential file 2. The farmer. Who contributed more to the final intelligence? No single contributor was the most important. The result came from the combined efforts of everyone involved. Can intelligence exist without collaboration? And the case, no. In this case, no. The final intelligence was created through collaborations. The Prime Minister's question. If machine learning can predict human behavior with increasing accuracy, should society encourage it, regulate it, or limit it? Then, yes, society should regulate machine learning as it becomes more accurate in predicting human behavior. Hall B, the Deep Learning Pavilion. Project ImageNet. Newspaper article in conclusion. AlexNet reduced the image recognize error rate by nearly 50%, a much larger improvement than anyone expected. Earlier system relied on manual designed rules and features. The breakthrough lead to advance in medical imaging, generative AI, etc. AI will improve healthcare by helping diagnose disease. Headline: AlexNet wins the dawn of a new AI revolution. Live demonstration. Why did Laboratory Bravo surpass Laboratory Alpha? Bravo learned from millions of examples, it discovered patterns by itself. Alpha depended on human written rules, better programming, or better learning. Better learning is the best. The system improved by learning from experience, not by adding more instructions. The medical challenge. Why did one system succeed? System Bravo succeeded because it learned from millions of medical images. It recognized complex patterns that manual rules could miss. What risks arise when doctors cannot fully explain the AI conclusion? Doctors may not fully trust the diagnosis. Mistakes become harder to identify and correct. Confidential case file 2. The self driving car. The self driving car. How did the car recognize danger when it had never seen this exact situation? Confidential case file 2. The self driving car. How did the car recognize danger when it had never seen this exact situation before? Then the car recognized danger by generalizing from what it had learned. Instead of matching the exact situation to a training image, it identified relevant features such as a person moving into the road and a likely collision path and predicted the risk, so it braked. The Prime Minister questions is, if deep learning system eventually outperform humans in perception, what human abilities become more valuable rather than less? Then the answer is the human abilities such as creativity, critical thinking, ethical judgment, empathy, leadership, and complex decision making become more valuable because they involve values, context, and reasoning beyond pattern recognition. Hall C, the language pavilion. The silent challenge. Did communication disappear or did language simply change? No. Communication did not disappear, language simply changed. Confidential case file NLP1 Project Babel. The translation room. Why did no translator declared incorrect? Because a sentence is ambiguous and can have more than one valid meaning. What additional information is required before translation become meaningful? The context of the conversation or a situation is required. Confidential case file 2. The doctor's message. Why did the AI fail? The AI failed because it analyzed only the positive wording and did not recognize the underlying emotional intent. Second, what information existed beyond the words? The patient intent, emotional state, conversation history, and surrounding context existed beyond the words. How might future NLP systems become safer? Future NLP system can become safer by considering context, conversation history, emotional cues, risk detection, and referring high risk cases to the human professional for review. The negotiation chamber. Did language change the information or the thinking? Language changed the thinking by influencing how people interpreted, organized, and understood the same information. The storyteller. Which memory is more valuable, perfect words or lasting understanding? Lasting understanding is a more valuable because it preserves the meaning, emotions, and lessons of the story, while perfect words only preserve the exact details. The Prime Minister's question: if intelligence can understand every language on earth, does that mean it automatically understands every culture? Then, no. Understanding languages does not automatically mean understanding cultures. HALDI, the International Bureau of Visual Intelligence. The airport security room. Computer vision will detect patterns, scan large numbers of images, quickly identify unusual objects or behaviors. Human investigators can make final decisions, understand context, handle complex situations. Ideal partnership. AI should assist humans by improving speed and accuracy while humans provide judgment, responsibility, and decision making. Confidential case file CV2. The hospital. Why did human plus AI outperform human alone and AI alone? Human plus AI outperformed because AI detected pattern quickly and consistently, while human provided experience, judgment, and the ability to handle unusual cases the AI had not seen before. The Prime Minister's question: if artificial intelligence eventually sees more than humans, what responsibilities must accompany that power? AI must use responsibly with accuracy, transparency, fairness, privacy protection, human oversight, and accountability. Hall E. The, the autonomous city. What moves? Books, digital resources, and storage unit should move. Who moves? Student and librarians should move. And why? The system reduces wasted walking time, makes resources easier to access, and allows people to focus on higher values and activities. Confidential case file RB02. The surgeon. Who performed the surgery? The robot, the surgeon, or the both? Both will perform the surgery. The robot provided precision and advanced technical assistance while the surgeon provided judgment, decision making, and control during the unexpected emergency. The farm of 2045. What responsibilities still remain quickly human? Then, making decisions and setting goals, caring for the land and environment, making ethical choices. Hall F. The Human Voice Pavilion. The courtroom. Why near perfect accuracy is sometimes insufficient? Because a small mistake can completely change the meaning of important information. Context, tone, and uncertainty may be misunderstood. Critical situations require human judgment, not just high accuracy. The Prime Minister's question. Delegate. The Prime Minister's question. Delegate. If artificial intelligence can perfectly imitate every human voice, how should society redefine trust? Trust should depend on verification, not just voice recognition. People should use secure identities and authentication system. In first assignment, we are having 10 ideas like a memory library, dream recorder, universal language, lens, emotion weather map, pocket time bubble, living learning book, ocean plastic eater, personally gravity control, idea garden, kindness currency. First, which ideas required knowledge? Then universal language lens, emotion weather map, ocean plastic eater, personal gravity control, living learning book. Second, which ideas required creativity? Memory library, dream recorder, pocket time bubble, idea garden, kindness currency. Laboratory A, the writer's studio. What shall we write together? We shall write a future filled with innovations, compassion, and knowledge, where humans and AI work together to solve problems and improve life for everyone. Confidential case file 1. Project dialogue. Did the AI create the stories and did it amplify the imagination of each author? The AI amplified the imagination of each author. It did not create the stories alone. The prompt chamber. What really changed? The prompts, instructions, and context provided by each delegate changed. The AI model stayed the same, but different human inputs created different outputs. Confidential case file 2. The student. How should universities evaluate writing in the age of a generative AI? Universities should evaluate both the final work and the student's thinking process. Second, design an entirely new assessment system. Idea development is 30%, writing quality 20%, personal reflection 20%, research and evidence 15%, process documentation 15%. The Prime Minister's question. If artificial intelligence eventually writes books indistinguishable from those written by humans. What will make an author truly valuable? An author will be truly valuable because of their original ideas, personal experiences, emotions, creativity, critical thinking, and unique perspectives. Laboratory B, the Visual Creation Studio. Project Midnight. Who created the winning artwork? All of them together. The prompt writer guided the AI, the engineers built the model, the training data contributed learned patterns, the AI generated the final image. The prompt studio. Did the AI improve? Or did the human imagination become more precise? The human imagination become more precise, the AI remained the same, but the detailed prompt gave it clear guidance. Confidential case file 2. The historian. Should AI generated historical reconstructions be labeled as fact, interpretation, or a possibility? They should be labeled as interpretation or a possibility, not as a fact. The Prime Minister's question: if artificial intelligence can create breathtaking art, what should society reward most? Technical perfection, originality, emotional impact, or human intention? Answer: the society should reward human intention most. Laboratory C, the sound forge. If you lost every photograph of someone you loved but still possessed their voice, would you still feel they were with you? Then, yes, a person's voice carries their emotion, personality, and memories. Confidential case file AG1. Project Echo, the memory room. The AI continues the grandmother's voice, who becomes the storyteller, the grandmother, the AI, or the family. Then the grandmother provides the original voice and story. The AI continues it, and the family guides and approves how it is told. The music studio. At what point does assistance become authorship? Assistants become authorship when the AI creates most of the creative work and the human contributes very little. Confidential case file 2. The lost language. An AI project is preserve one endangered Indian language and dialect. Recording strategy, community participation, ethical permissions, educational use, future expansion. The hospital. Where should society actively encourage voice generation? Then, for medical support, helping people who have lost their speaking ability. Where should society prohibit it? When it is used for fraud, impersonation, spreading misinformation, creating fake identities. The Prime Minister's question: if artificial intelligence can perfectly recreate the voice of anyone who has ever lived, should every voice be preserved, or should every person have the right to be forgotten? Then answer is both rights should exist. Laboratory D, the cinema of tomorrow. Project Dream Frame. The director's chair. Which part of which part was created by AI? AI created the generated visual, narration, and film elements based on the instructions. Which part remained entirely human? The human created the audience choice, emotional tone, message learning goal, creative vision, and overall direction of the film. Confidential case file 2. The history project. Should AI generated historical documentaries always display their uncertainty? Then, yes, AI generated historical documentaries should always display their uncertainty. Design and ethical policy. Clear labels, expert review, evidence transparency, respect for culture. The Prime Minister's question is if AI can generate videos that are impossible to distinguish from reality, should society greater on the ability to create or on the ability to verify? Then the society should place greater value of the ability to verify. Laboratory E, the code forge. Who write tomorrow's software? Tomorrow's software will be written by both humans and AI working together. Confidential case file CG01. Project Copilot, the software company. What made the winning solution better? The winning solution was better because it had a better understanding of a requirement, stronger architecture, and effective use of AI tools. Confidential case file 2. The hospital system. Which company was truly using AI intelligently? Explain. Then, company 2 was truly using AI intelligently. They used AI as a tool to improve productivity while focusing human effort on important decisions. The Prime Minister's question: if an artificial intelligence eventually writes perfect code, what qualities should every software engineer continue to developing? Every software engineer Every software engineer should continue developing problem solving ability, creativity, critical thinking, system design skills, communication ethics, and understanding of human needs. Creation journal in conclusion. What I imagine it. I imagine it an idea based on my own creativity, emotions, and purpose. What the AI created, the AI transformed my idea into a more detailed and developed output using patterns, knowledge, and creative suggestions. How my idea changed. My idea became clearer, richer, and more refined after seeing new possibilities from AI. What surprised me? I was surprised by how quickly AI could expand a simple idea into something more complex and creative. What disappointed me? I noticed that AI could not fully understand personal emotions, experience, and the deeper meaning behind my idea. What only humans still contributed. Humans contributed imaginations, feelings, personal experiences, values, intention, and the purpose behind the creation. Mission 3: The Great AI Race. Chamber A: The Conversational Intelligence Arena. Round 1: The Teacher. Which response would actually help a beginner learn? Why? The ChatGPT's response would likely help a beginner learn the most because it combines clarity, simple language, relatable examples, accuracy, and encouraging tones. Round 2: The Entrepreneur. Which AI thought like a consultant? Answer is ChatGPT. Which AI thought like a researcher? Gemini. Which AI thought like a creative partner? Claude. Round 3: The Researcher. Can conversational AI replace a literature review? Then no, it can support the literature review process but cannot replace human researchers. Where does AI help? AI helps by summarizing research papers, organizing informations, and etc. Where do human researchers remain essential? Human researchers are essential for evaluating the quality and the credibility of resources. Round 4: The Ethical Dilemma. Would you trust each recommendation if you were responsible for thousands of students? I would trust a recommendation that provided a balanced approach. Confidential case 1. The law firm. Should organizations standardize on one AI or allow employees to choose the most appropriate AI for each task? Organizations should standardize on one AI system to maintain consistency, security, easier training, and better control over data the processes. The Prime Minister's question: if every conversational AI eventually becomes equally intelligent, what qualities will determine which one humanity trusts? Humanity will trust the AI that demonstrates reliability, honesty, safety, empathy, transparency, and respect for human values. Chamber B, the visual AI arena. Round 2, the scientist. Should the illustration remains identical for school students, medical students, doctors, researchers, and patients? Then no. The illustrations should be different because each audience has a different level of knowledge, needs, and goals. Confidential case file 1. Project Museum. Should reconstructed artwork always be labeled? Yes, reconstructed artworks should always be clearly labeled to distinguish historical evidence from AI generated interpretation. Confidential AI confidential case file to the child. Which response demonstrate true intelligence? The response that compared the sunset to music demonstrated true intelligence because it adapted the explanation to the child's experience. The Prime Minister's question: if an artificial intelligence can generate any image imaginable, what becomes more valuable, artistic skill, imagination, or judgment? Judgment becomes the most valuable quality because it guides what should be created, why it should be created, and whether it is a meaningful, ethical, or valuable. Chamber C, the software arena. The bug hunt. Would you trust the AI to automatically apply every fix? Then no. AI can identify and suggest fixes for many bugs, but every change should be reviewed and tested by humans before being applied. Confidential case file 1. Project Night Shift. Should software companies measure lines of a code or problems solved? Problems Software companies should measure problems solved, not just lines of code. Confidential case file to the startup. Why must software engineers understand laws, ethics, business, and communication alongside programming? Software engineers must understand law, ethics, business, and communication because successful software must be legal, ethical, financially viable, and clearly understood by the users and stakeholders. The Prime Minister questions if every the Prime Minister's question: if every programmer receives the same AI coding assistant, what qualities will distinguish the world's best software engineers? The world's best software engineers will distinguished by problem solving abilities, critical thinking, system design, creativity, ethical judgment, communication, collaboration, and continuous learning. Chamber D, the knowledge arena. Which response would you publish and why? I would publish a response stating information is still unverified. It is the most responsible because it avoids spreading potentially false information until reliable sources confirm the facts. Confidential case file KR1. Project Discovery. Where should AI accelerated research? AI should accelerate research by searching literature, organizing papers, summarizing findings. Where must human judgment remain indispensable? Human judgment is indispensable for formulating research questions evaluating evidence. The Prime Minister's question: if artificial intelligence can instantly answer almost every question, what qualities should distinguish an educated human being? An educated human being should be distinguished by critical thinking, creativity, curiosity, empathy, ethical judgment, problem solving ability, and the wisdom to apply knowledge responsibly. The Grand Championship finale, the AI Orchestration Challenge, confidential case file GC1, the smart city, how information flows, then the data of a traffic systems, hospitals, environmental sensors, public safety systems, and citizen services is collected, shared, and analyzed together. How decisions are made. For example, traffic AI can share information with emergency services to create faster routes for ambulances. However, major decisions and reviewed the approved by human authorities. Confidential case 2. The university. Why it is digital transformation different from technology adoption? Digital transformation is not just adopting technology, it is redesigning people, processes, and systems to create better outcomes using technology. The Prime Minister's final question is: if you had one opportunity to transform India using AI, where would you begin and why? I would begin with AI powered healthcare and education because these areas directly improve the lives of millions of people. AI benchmark diary. What task perform? What task was performed? Multiple AI systems were evaluated across different real world tasks, including education, business planning, research, and healthcare. Which AI performed best? The AI that performed best depended on the task. There was no single AI was best at everything. Which AI surprised me? The AI that showed strongly adaptability, creativity, and understanding of human needs was the most surprising. Which AI failed? The AI that gave confident but incorrect, incomplete, or unverified information failed. Would I trust the professionally? Yes, but only as an assistant. Would I recommend it nationally? Yes, if it is follows strong safety, privacy, transparency, and accountability standards. Thank you.